All right, Buck fans, welcome in to another 6-7 winning edition, No Quarter Given podcast. I'm your happy host, Jason Powers, in Tampa. After the Buccaneers go up to Atlanta and win a dramatic 29-25 final in Mercedes-Benz. I'm Jason, Peter Blake. Welcome in, sir.
What's going on, buddy? A happy show here. The No Quarter Given on the BuckPower.com podcast network. I'm happy to say because
Season saver, buddy. They
yes,
lost Sunday. It was lights out.
yep, and it looked like they were going to lose this game, but you know what? They pull it out.
We're going to get to a 29-25 final. And I'm not sure of this, but I bet I'm right on this. I bet this is the first ever 29-25 final in Buccaneer history. But the place you can go to confirm that, buckpower.com and our buddy Paul Stewart. But I'm going to guess, I meant to email Paul today and I didn't do it. I bet this is the first 29-25 final in Buccaneer history.
Yeah, I think it is too, man. And it was a weird score and just a weird game overall. Just, again, a roller coaster ride if you're a Bucs fan, but I don't know how you can't be positive about this. It's a huge win in Atlanta. You needed to win it. If you don't win it, then basically you're talking about not only not winning the NFC South, but possibly being out of this crazy playoff situation that's taking place right now in the NFC.
No doubt, no doubt. So the Buccaneers again get to 6-7 by tiebreakers. They are in first place as of today in the NFC South. New Orleans and Atlanta both at 6-7 as well. But again, a tremendous win for the Buccaneers. Again, depleted on defense. You had no Jamel Dean, no Vita Vea, no Devin White. But give some of the guys that came in credit. Greg Gaines made a play. Carlton Davis made a huge interception, which we'll get into. Zion McCollum showed some flashes of some pass breakups. D. Delaney, Antoine Witt, give the defensive guys credit. They were undermanned a little bit, but they did just enough to get out of there with a W.
And it says the same thing about the offense. Baker probably had his worst game of the season, but you know what? That last drive, man, he was money, made some big-time throws, and then the running game. What has happened? This running game was so inconsistent. Just a disappearing act there the first couple weeks, and now it's come alive the last three games here with Mr. Rachaad White. Awesome.
Rachaad White, you mentioned 25 carries, 102 yards. Chase Edmonds had a nice contribution. I think 8 carries for about 40 yards. So they ran over for over 150 yards combined with Mayfield running for a little bit as well. Chris Godwin got back in the mix a little bit, 5 for 53. The one harsh part in this game was no catches for Mike Evans, correct? No, 0 catches for Mike.
One catch for 8 yards. One catch for 8 yards, but he was largely and it was either the Atlanta defense, because you didn't think A.J. Terrell was going to play in this game, but he's a talented corner. But we knew that Atlanta was going to bracket coverage with the type of week he had before, with getting his 1,000 yards. And also the primary focus was to get the ball to Chris Godwin after Godwin's wife's comments. And I'll tell you right now, Godwin had an opportunity here to have more catches, more yards, but he dropped a couple passes here. But once again, on that final drive, a big-time catch to set the Bucs up to win the game.
And to your point, Mayfield did not play really well. He missed Evans on a couple of balls that he was open on a couple of different routes. You mentioned Godwin, an early drop in the game. Again, not a great performance by Mayfield, but give him credit on the last drive. That the great ball he threw to Godwin on the corner route, and then the nice little fade ball he threw to Cade Otton for the game winner there with 31 seconds to go. Bowles might have saved his job, and Baker probably saved him from getting benched, because if they lose Sunday in Atlanta, you're probably going to see Kyle Trask the rest of the year.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, and I still can't get over how the Bucs had 9 players on a defensive stand on the goal line. I don't know how that happened. That's happened the last couple weeks, whether it's coaching, not knowing the personnel, whether it's injuries, younger guys getting in there, but that just can't happen because it leads to bad things. And again, it's a big game versus the Green Bay Packers and Lambeau. You got to get your P's and Q's. You cross your T's at this point, cliche, but you got to do that. You got to come out and play good football here, because you're coming down to the home stretch. Playoff football, baby.
All right, let's go through the game a little bit. First quarter, 2 long drives by both teams. Bucs take the opening kickoff and go down the field. Again, Chase McLaughlin, you want to score a touchdown, but give McLaughlin credit. 56-yard field goal right down the pipe. Nice job. Atlanta goes right down the field on their first possession. We hold them inside the 5-6 yard line, force them to kick a field goal 3-3. Then Carlton Davis makes them a big play, probably the biggest plays made all year. Give him credit, film study, whatever, formational recognition, jumps in front of that wide receiver screen. Great job. I mean, just basically took the ball, that didn't even get to the wide receiver, intercepts that ball on the screen, gets clipped on the way down, or it would have been a pick six. So good call by the refs. He was down at the 7 or 8 yard line. What'd you think of that great read by Carlton Davis?
I mean, it's about time, and that's the reason why you pay the guy, top 10 cornerback money, because he can make plays like that. And he talked about in the offseason making plays. So finally he's able to do that. And then furthermore, Antoine Winfield Jr., we continue to talk about this kid, how he's ascending to one of the best safeties in the league. You could definitely put him in the conversation of not only being the MVP of this team, but also the Defensive Player of the Year. He does so many things. Gets after the quarterback, sacks the quarterback, coverage, tackling, calls his turnovers. He's just everywhere. He's like a man with his hair on fire. That's how he's playing this year.
And we're going to get to Antoine's big, huge play here in just a second here. So the Bucs convert that Davis interception, a little read option. Baker keeps it this time and kind of runs. I won't say runs over Jesse Bates, but he powers through the tackle, squirms into the end zone. 10-3 Bucs. Atlanta comes back down the field. Looks like a coverage bust. Kyle Pitts basically walks into the end zone on a ball down the right sideline. Not sure if it was Carlton Davis with the man zone, busted coverage. Guy walks in the end zone, 10-10. And then we get to the moment you talk about Antoine Winfield. The Bucs pin the Falcons inside the 1 or 2 yard line. Nice job of punting the ball and pinning them in there. Antoine Winfield, first play after the timeout on the corner blitz, safety blitz around the end, strip sack Desmond Ridder. Atlanta's fortunate to fall on the ball just for a safety. The Bucs could have fallen on the ball for a touchdown, but safety good. Tampa Bay Buccaneers 12-10.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And, the Carlton Davis play is great because he jumps it, but then the Antoine Winfield Jr., when I believe he's penned back because of the punt god there, Jake Carmada, doing punt god things in that defense. And it's almost reminiscent of the Saints game where Winfield, when the team is in their own territory, making a play and changing the outcome of it because it's a huge play. It gets points on the board, and it also, stills momentum, and it gives the momentum to, of course, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
So the Bucs get out of the first half. Younghoe Koo misses 2 field goals late in that second quarter, hits the upright, and then hooks one at the gun at the end of the first half. So Bucs up 12-10 at the half. Second half, third quarter, kind of a back and forth. Not again. The Bucs were not very efficient on offense. Didn't possess the ball. Ran the ball a little bit and effectively, but not again. Just kind of a plotting kind of game. A second half where you could tell both teams really knew each other after playing each other, or basically a game and a half against each other. The Bucs go up 19-10? Is that correct? I believe 19-10.
That's correct.
Yep. So they go up 19-10 on the. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's the white. It looks like a screen pass.
Yes. Yes.
A screen pass, and once again, you get White out in the space. There's a block, and he's gone. He's gone to the end zone. I think it's like 31, 32 yards there.
Third and 9 too.
That's huge third down conversion, which they've had some trouble with sustaining drives. So it's always great to get that big play, that explosive play against that defense. Who, once again, you were talking about it. The Bucs were having their struggles. Atlanta was having their struggles. Give credit to where credit is due, both of those defenses. But once again, White out in the open. It's a huge play that changes the momentum of the game in the Bucs' favor.
So the Bucs go up 19. Again, I can't remember the last time the Bucs had a screen touchdown for that long of yardage. It's been a long time. The Bucs have not been a great screen team during the Brady era. It's been a long time since there's been a screen pass for go that long.
Was it Ronald Jones against the Chiefs? Was
Maybe
that the last time they had, I guess that was
long screen for a touchdown. My bad. That's a good call there. That's a good call. So 19-10. 19-17. Was that the Bijan Robinson 9 on the field? Make it 19-17.
Yes.
So it's 19-17. Again, inexcusable to have 9 on the field. I don't know. That's a coaching. Again, you don't want to burn your timeouts, but again, that can't happen. The interesting no catch, which turns into the field goal to make it 22-17. The Mike Evans almost again. To me, Baker Mayfield's a split second late on that, high on the throw. If that throws in the middle of his chest, I think Evans gets his feet down, but it's a high throw. He's got to extend, not able to get that second foot down before his hand hits. But again, that's where Baker has just got, that's the part of the game that separates the good guys from the great guys, is hitting the guy where he can get his feet down.
He looks like he's in motion. He gets out of the pocket there. Of course, he tries to escape, makes a play, and you're exactly right. He's a little bit off on it. It looks like it could be a touchdown, but of course, they look at the replay there, and they got it right. The refs got it right. Credit to where credit is due. You look at both feet were down, but the hand was down out of bounds, so of course it's incomplete.
So 22-17, and then the Falcons with about 6 minutes to go in the game drive down the field. You got Desmond Ridder on a quarterback keeper. JTS has him dead to rights on the keeper, and he just got, out athleted. You hate to say it, but that's a play you have to make, though. You had him dead to rights. You can't let him beat you to the corner right there. Desmond Ridder beats Joe Tryon right in front of him, beats him to the corner, gets in the end zone. Falcons go for 2 to go up 25-22. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it's disappointing because there's a coverage breakdown with the 2-point conversion, but you're exactly right. JTS in the open field, he has to make that play. You have to sack him, or you have to
force him back inside at the worst.
Yes, at the worst. And I get it. JTS has been, somewhat good against the run, but when it comes to finishing off sacks, finishing off quarterbacks, that was the big time problem last year, and it seems like it's crept up again with this team.
Yeah, and so, all right, so it's 25-22 with about, we end up punting. They punt. We get the ball back with what, about 3 minutes to go or so at about the 35-yard line. And give Canales a little credit here. He doesn't panic and throw it every down. They run the ball a couple times. They get to the critical 4th down play, 4th and 2, season on the line, quarterback situation on the line, coaching. Everything's on the line here, 4th and 2. And we run the ball from the shotgun formation, which surprised me, to be honest with you. They run the ball and give them credit. Rashad White and that offensive line get 2 yards.
Yes, they get, I believe it was 4th and 1, and they get 4 yards. You're thinking of the 4th and 2, which is early on in the game. They go for the pitch and they get stuffed.
Or that too, yes.
Right. But
Carroll did not like that call one bit, by the way.
No, not at all. I didn't like it either. Of course, we had Paul Stewart on the post game. He said, Mike Evans should have made the block. It was supposed to be made, so it was a good play call. I just didn't like it. I don't like a pitch. You don't see a lot of the pitch.
Toss sweep on 4th down. That's a tough one in this league.
That's tough. That's tough because defenses, they're gonna
too quick, man. These guys can all run, man.
Too quick on the edges at the end of the day, but good 4th down conversion. Because, again, that's your season. And you're thinking, are they going to go for this? Are they going to run?
No, are they going to run the ball? It's not that they made it. A called running play there, and that's what it was. It wasn't a read option. It was a called running play right behind Hainsey in the left guard. So, give them credit. I don't know if I'd have called a run. I don't know if I'd have had the cojones to call a running play there on 4th and 2.
Well, they did, and Stenny has been the big-time reference, right? Because Matt Filer at the left guard situation, he was giving you nothing. Pro Football Focus was telling you he was giving you nothing.
Yep.
He got hurt, and ever since he's gotten hurt, Aaron Stenny has definitely been an upgrade at that left guard spot.
Yes.
Maybe you found a left guard for next year. Maybe that's not your problem. Maybe you go in a center because Cody Mock, I don't know if you noticed, but probably he's the most improved player on this.
He's coming on.
You could see why they drafted him in the 2nd round in the first place. It took a little time, but now he's starting to get very comfortable and starting to, do some things that Jason Light likes with drafting a small school guard like him.
All right, so we've converted 4th down. Now we get to the moment of truth, 3rd and 10 with about a minute, whatever it was, minute and 25 left in the game. Mayfield throws a corner route, a beautiful corner route to Godwin. Perfect throw. Give him all the credit. Offensive line gives him time to throw. Beautiful throw to get you down to about the, 10, 15-yard line?
15-yard line, yep. 32 yards, I believe, from Chris Godwin, and that's a huge catch. And that's what you're used to. Because you saw throughout the season and even throughout this game how many drops he had, how many easy drops. But those are the type of catches that will save your season. And that's the reason why you have to get Godwin involved
In the
again.
slot, too. He was in the slot, not out wide.
Yes, exactly. Keep him in the slot. Figure out that situation where you're going to go outside. Who are you going to play outside? Is it Trey Palmer? Is it Devin Tompkins? But you got to play Godwin in the slot. You got to.
So now you're down to the last 30 seconds, and now we got the matchup. You know, Baker's got to deliver one more time. Again, two best passes of the game were the last two passes of the game for Mayfield. Give him credit again. He gets a matchup he likes. Otten on a safety and drops a beautiful little corner, little jump. It wasn't even a jump ball, just a little drop it in the bucket. Otten with his third game-winning touchdown in his Buccaneer career in only his second year. You had a nice size mismatch there. Give Baker the credit. Nice feathery throw. And Otten comes down with the ball. We saw Otten early in the year drop a sure touchdown earlier in the year, but he brings this one in to take the lead.
Absolutely. You look back at the Houston game, he could have had an opportunity.
Yes.
And you also look back at the San Francisco game where he has an opportunity to get back into it. So third time's the charm. We've seen Otten catch big passes before. He did it last year in the Rams game where Brady was playing, and now he does it again with a beautiful throw. Baker under pressure. When he's got his back against the wall and this team has their backs against the wall, that's really when it gets kind of exciting. And then also you kind of start to bite your nails because you believe in him. You believe that he's going to be able to lead this team, but also you could make a mistake there, but he was great on that last drive.
Now the question is, have you left too much time? 31 seconds remain. We remember what happened in Houston. Atlanta had a couple of timeouts. And before you knew it, they were at the Buccaneer 30. The Bucs were playing pretty soft, and they gave up two easy completions, a couple short ones when Atlanta had to use their timeout. Now we have the moment of truth. The last play of the game, 4 or 5 seconds left from the 30-yard line. You're thinking, uh-oh, here we go again. Houston all over again. And thank God Desmond Ridder doesn't even throw the ball. The Buccaneers have about 7 guys attached to the goal line, all play in front of them. Ridder doesn't even throw the ball in the end zone. They let Drake London basically catch the ball at the 4-yard line, and they swarm tackle him at the 3. Your thought? I was shocked that Ridder didn't even throw the ball in the end zone.
Well, and that's the reason why he's not a starting quarterback, in my opinion. Although stats-wise, he had a good one. He had the big interception, but again, that comes down to what? It comes down to football IQ, and that's why I don't think he's going to be a starter eventually for this team. They're going to move in a different direction. But Drake London, it scares the hell out of you because he's open, and if you miss that tackle...
Yeah, but there were 4 guys to get him. There was no chance he was scoring.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you look back at the Hail Mary with Buffalo, it's like so many close opportunities.
Yeah.
Like it's never over with this team. It's never over in the National Football League. You got to love it because it means not for long if you're not on, what you need to do. And thank God they were on to make that tackle. Thank God.
So the Bucs escape, get out of Atlanta 29-25 final. Get to 6 and 7 not sole possession, but by a tiebreaker in first place in the NFC South. Again, a had to have it game because again, if they lose that game, they're 2.5 games out of first place. They're not making up 2.5 games in the last 4. They're still in the wild card hunt. Even if they don't win the division, they still got a chance at the wild card, which is great. And again, a game you had to have. So give Todd Bowles, that staff and those guys credit. They made the last play of the game they had to make.
Yeah, no, I agree. Completely agree. And again, we can talk about, Todd Bowles' coaching style. We could talk about this offense and their struggles. We could talk about this defense giving up big plays. But you know what? Good teams find ways to win. And right now, maybe the record doesn't show it, but I kind of think the Bucs are becoming a good team. Maybe that's, being a little bit optimistic on my part. But let me just say this. When you don't turn over the ball, which Baker didn't have his best game, but didn't turn over the ball,
yep.
You run the ball, and you play good enough defense, and you cause turnovers, guess what?
You're going to be in the game. You're going to be in the game.
Not only going to be in the game, but that travels in the postseason. So who's to say you don't go on some type of run? Because you had Green Bay the other night lose to the Danny DeVito, Tommy DeVito, whatever the hell you want to call them, New York Giants, chicken cutlet Giants. Who thought that? I mean, honestly. It's a week-by-week league, and it's happening right before our eyes. I mean, the NFC is wide open right now.
All right, Buck fans, we're going to go to Paul Stewart, who's going to give you the montage of the Buccaneers Green Bay Packers. You're going to hear some great video and audio from way back in the day, 1985, the famous snow game with Steve Young at quarterback up in Lambeau. You're going to hear some Brett Favre, Sapp, I'm sure, is going to be in the mix here. Those rivalries back in the NFC Central days with, again, Sapp. You remember the famous Monday night game where Sapp decleated the offensive lineman that almost caused a massive ruckus with Mike Sherman as I think he hit, was it Kyle Clift, the left tackle. I'm trying to think of trying to remember.
Kyle Clifton.
Kyle Clifton was the left tackle, and it was a blindside block on an interception return that Sapp decleated him and injured him, which what in this day and age would have been a penalty. That would have been an illegal hit this week. But boy, there's been some testy rivalries with Sapp and Favre and all those guys all the way back in the day.
Was that on a Monday night or was
yes.
that? Wow.
I think it was a Monday night game. I'm pretty sure it was either Sunday night or Monday night. I think it was a Monday nighter.
I think it was a Sunday nighter.
Okay.
You know how you found out? You go to buckpower.com
yes.
for all your information. Every player, every stat, everything that you need to know so we don't get into this stupid argument on when that game was. I'm pretty sure it was on a Sunday night, but it was a Sunday day. It was a late game.
It was a primetime game, baby.
Yes,
whatever.
It was a primetime game where Sapp did what he needed to do, and of course Sherman tries to go after him.
That's right.
Of course, some years later, the Bucs are looking at trying to hire, Mike Sherman, and you're thinking, what is Sapp thinking about, if the Bucs hired Mike Sherman, that would be a little bit awkward. It's always awkward with Warren Sapp in the first place, but even more so if they would have hired him. But of course they didn't. So there you go.
All right, let's go to Paul Stewart. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Enjoy the montage. Buccaneers, Green Bay Packers. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes, okay? All right, Buck fans, welcome back. No Quarter Given podcast. I'm Jason along with Peter. Hopefully you enjoyed the montage. Remember, you can go to Buck Power TV on YouTube to see the video version of the montage as well. Again, if you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button on your podcast platform. No Quarter Given. Tell all your Buck fans about our podcast. We'll be here every week through the regular season and hopefully the playoffs as well. Playoffs. If we win the division, we'll be hosting a playoff game against either Dallas or Philly. So, again, there's plenty of opportunity in the NFC to make a run here, whether it's as a division winner or potentially as a 6 or 7 seed. So, lots to play for in these last 4 games. We go to Lambeau, then we're home to Jacksonville, home to New Orleans, and then you got Carolina to end the season. So, plenty of opportunity here, winnable games. Looking at the weather forecast, it doesn't look like it's going to be terrible in Green Bay this week. Probably mid-30s, but no snow, precipitation. And you got a Green Bay team who just come off of a short week Monday night loss in New York against your boy DeVito, Tommy Cutlets, or whatever the hell we're calling him these days, with his mafia agent, French kissing each other up in the stands, all the family giving each other kisses up in the stands. And
boy, the NFL is something else. I tell you, I love it. You got
Yeah, one of these days, me and you need to go to Lambeau. I've actually got relatives that live not too far from Green Bay, so one of these days, we need to make a trek to Lambeau.
Road trip. I've never been there. I mean, and that's like the Mecca. Like, you've got to go there once in your life if you're a football fan. I mean, there's so much steep history there and tradition. You got to go.
No doubt. All right, let's look at the game. Both teams come in 6 and 7. The reason why this game is so vital is, one, it's a tiebreaker. If we end up tied in the standings, the winner of this game is going to have the tiebreaker advantage for potentially the 7th seed or the 6th seed. So critical. And remember, Buck fans, we've already beaten Minnesota. So if we'll have the head-to-head with Minnesota and Green Bay in the event there's a tiebreaker situation, if we don't win the division, we still have the opportunity here in the wild card situation with tiebreakers, and that could become massive key. Vita Vea, we don't know his status, whether he's back or not. I saw today that Jamel Dean was back at practice. I don't know if that's a limited basis, full time, but if you can get Jamel Dean and Davis back with the contributions you're getting from some of the other guys, if you can get Vea back, we've not heard yet what Devin White's situation is. You have an update on Devin? What do you think?
Yeah, he's doing what he's done all year long. Nothing. I mean, I don't. I'm just ready to play KJ Britt. KJ Britt for me, and whether Devin's been hurt, Devin may have been hurt all year long, and that's the reason why it's not there. I don't know. It's effort, it's contract, whatever it is. I'm ready to go with the younger guys, and KJ Britt played his ass off the other day versus the Atlanta Falcons. So can he continue that? Todd Bowles has confidence in him. And he didn't start Savasi Dennis. He started him instead over, and then he went with Levante David being back. As long as you have Levante David, I think you're okay. So I don't anticipate Devin White coming back.
And looking at the offense, I think you saw if you watched the game Monday nights, the Giants had some success running the ball with Saquon Barkley. So I would anticipate the run effort will be there for the Buccaneers to try to establish Rachaad White, continue that going. But again, I think you got to get the passing game going. You can't wait till the running game is non-existent to throw. To me, you almost have to throw the ball a little bit early to open up the running lanes because you got to get Mike Evans and Godwin involved early in this game. Jair Alexander hasn't played in quite a while. The Green Bay defense is a little vulnerable on the secondary. You got to make some hay there because you're not and again, continue the running game. I get it. You want to stay balanced, but you can't wait till it's 3rd and 7 every possession to start throwing the ball. Throw the ball to open up the run a little bit for my liking and to get Baker Mayfield a little bit better rhythm offensive because he did not play well Sunday in Atlanta. It's going to be cold. Get the receivers involved in the game a little bit early.
I think you got to run the ball because this is a Packer team that just gave up 209 yards of rushing to the Giants on Monday Night Football. They're 31st in stopping the run. This Bucs team right now seems like they have lots of confidence with either White or Edmonds. You run the ball, and the reason why you run the ball on first down, don't do it every first down, but if you're getting...
That's the key. Balance it on first down a little bit.
Right, 4 to 5 yards a carry, and it's so funny because my mom is sitting there. She's like my lucky charm watching the Bucs game. We figured it out. We've unlocked it. When she's here watching the Bucs game, they win. When she's not, they lose. And I'm trying to explain to her, and she's like, why did they run every first down? And I said, well, because they're having success right now. They're running for 4 or 5 yards, so it makes that second down, 2nd and 6 or 2nd and 4, you can open up the playbook. You can either run or pass. The defense is off balance at that point with the offense being or keeping with the balance. And then the third down is more manageable. That's the reason why you do it, trying to explain that. So you're exactly right, but I think you got to focus on running the ball. The Packers may try to stop it. I have confidence that this offensive team can do this. I have a confidence that this team can run for another 100 yards. And if they can do that, take the pressure off of Baker, and like you said, pass, play action.
Take your shot. Take your shots.
Take your shots. I like the Bucs in this game.
Bucs are getting about 3.5 points on the point spread as of the broadcaster. We're doing this late Wednesday night. Again, we think the weather's going to be somewhere in the 30s. Not terrible. Again, I'm sure there'll be some guys on that Buc team that aren't used to that, but again, they'll get used to it as they get out there. Defensively, for the Buccaneers, I think you're going to see Green Bay come out throwing the ball. They got wide receivers. They're going to go after the secondary. If Jamel Dean doesn't play, you've seen every team the last 3-4 weeks go after Zion McCollum. They're going to go after McCollum. They're going to try to expose that secondary. You got Dobbs. We don't know, Christian Watson may not play with the hamstring, but you've got Reed, that's Jaden Reed, that's played pretty well. You've got the other kid, Heath, who caught the touchdown, Wicks. They're going to throw the ball, but Jordan Love's going to throw some inaccurate balls. Can the Bucs catch them? That's the key. Can you catch the balls that he throws to you? Because he's going to throw you 1 or 2 balls. You got to catch them.
You're exactly right. And you go back to the Tampa Tornado and Christian Watson. If he does play in this game, I'm looking for the matchup of Carlton Davis versus Watson. I think that's what you have to focus on because he could definitely blow the top off of a defense. So that's the one thing that I'm concerned about. You're exactly right. And going back to McCollum, I mean, I thought he played well. I thought he played
better
complete games. He was good with pass breakups. He didn't try to do too much. I thought the pass interference call was complete BS. I don't know what the refs were looking at on that. I've seen worse. That was disappointing. Besides that, I thought he played pretty well. So if Jamel Dean doesn't play in this game, you know what? He's been a player once again who hasn't played up to his level. So I don't mind going with the young kid if he's playing well. And right now, McCollum's playing well.
Like I said, I think you're going to see a passing game out of the Packers. I think the running game, we don't know what Aaron Jones' status is. Dillon's been okay, but he's not gonna kill you. You don't think? But Jones is a good player if he plays out of the backfield. But again, I think this is going to be a game. Jordan Love, they're going to lean on Jordan Love to throw the ball and with the weakened. But again, Winfield, the playmaker in the back end here. Blitzes, whether it's blitzes, he almost had another interception the other day in Atlanta. So again, if the Bucs can catch the ball, the one thing Carlton Davis did last week when he had the opportunity, he caught the ball. He made the play. When you got to catch the ball if he throws them to you.
Agree, and another big key to the game, he didn't turn over the ball. The Bucs are 3-1 when they have no turnovers. When they have 2 turnovers, they're 0-4. So take care of the ball It's very elementary, my friend. You got to take care of the ball. If you could do that, you have a chance to win this game. A close one, but still win this game.
And you got special teams again. We'll see if your punt god can punt in the cold weather. We'll see how that goes. And give to me Chase McLaughlin. He won't make the Pro Bowl because what Brandon Aubrey's doing, but he's had a tremendous year for the Buccaneers. Would not be shocked if they get an extension done with him before the end of the year, so he doesn't go into free agency because he's been a tremendous addition for the Buccaneers this year.
Yeah, I mean, can we say that Jason Light knew what the heck he was doing with all the fan outcry of getting rid of Ryan Suckup, but Suckup couldn't kick from 50 yards. Chase McLaughlin can longer than that. I mean, the guy has been money all year around, and he continues to be money.
The 1 o'clock game, Buck fans, remember 1 o'clock. I believe it's a Fox game. I'm pretty sure it's a Fox game, 1 o'clock. All right, Peter Blake, give me a prediction. Who do you like?
I'm going to go 2017 Tampa Bay.
Low scoring game, little defense, little cold weather. I'm going to go 21-16. I think the Bucs are going to hold Green Bay to some field goals. I don't know if they get a safety maybe. 21-16 final in a critical game again for the Buccaneers. If you win this game, you're in a great spot with 3 to go.
It's funny you should say 21-16 because I remember, and you go to buckpower.com to get this information. This is off the top of my head. When the Bucs were 4-0 and they were trying to be 5-0 at that point, or were they 5-0 and they went to Green Bay? They lost to the Packers 21-16. That was with Brett Favre in 1997.
Tony Dungy. That year they got off to that great start. They lose in Green Bay 21-16. I believe you're right on that. And
5-0 at the time, right? 5-0.
I think that's right. I think they got out to a 5-0 start. And that was the first loss of the year. So both of us like the Bucs. Again, cold weather could be a factor. I worry about that a little bit with some of the younger guys, especially maybe aren't used to that weather. But again, Bulls survived last week. We give them credit. You got to keep doing it. You're still, even if you lose the game, you're still in it. But if you win this game, there's so many more avenues to get to the playoffs other than just having to win that division. So let's go. Play more solid ball. Throw the ball down the field. Let's get Evans involved a little bit. And defensively, just don't let Jordan Love kill you with the deep ball, because I think he'll throw you a couple balls and you got to catch him when he throws them to you.
Absolutely. Completely agree. Go Bucs.
All right, Buck. Peter Blake, quick, tell everybody where they can find all your great work. Post-game, you going to be post-game?
Post-game on the Sports Web. Not sure where I'm going to be. I may be here, but Mom will definitely be watching the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Call, text in. Jason Powers, more than invited to come in. Paul Stewart from across the pond has come in there, talked to all kinds of Bucs fans, calling up. It's a zoo in there when the Bucs win or lose.
All right, Powers on Sports Podcast. Catch it. Appreciate you finding us. Let's go, Bucs. Let's get to 7-7. Take control of this NFC South, and we'll see you next week on the No Quarter Given Podcast.
Go Bucs.